with y'all, man. So some of y'all might be thinking that this sample looks really complex, but no, it is not at all. All I did was a bunch of layering and having good sound selection, and the sample was actually pretty simple to make. So the first thing I did was I added this piano from Keyscape. I was just playing out random ideas, and this is what I came up with. So I actually played both sections separately. I didn't play these at the same time. So I played this first part, and then I added a couple notes that I felt would make it more catchy, and then I played this part separately too. And then I added some notes right here and right here just to make it more catchy. Here's why I say the sample is not complex at all. Next thing I did was I added the OB1, this pad right here, filter pings, and all I did was I just copied the MIDI over and added it to this sound, and this is what it sounds like. I did the same thing for this preset right here. I used the OB1 and then I added this synth texture. Now this is why I say to have good sound selection, because look how all three of these sounds fit really well together. So next thing I added on top of that was this bass from the OBX just to go with the melody. Next thing I added was this ear candy from Liwi and an ear candy from my analog blueprints kit. For those who have been asking where I get my vocals from, I normally get them from Splice because I don't really have that many vocal kits, so this is what the vocal sounded like. Alright, so another way that I like to keep my samples interesting is having switch ups and transitions. So the reason every single MIDI cuts off right at the end is because I have this phrase that I added from my analog blueprints kit, and it sounds like this. So I felt like that was the perfect sound for the transition. So all I did was I added another sound from Contact. So I showed this bank in a previous video, the sunset strings. These strings are crazy, bro. The Shoe Factory from Spitfire. This bank is crazy too. So now look, we're back at sound selection. This is how these three sounds sounded together in the transition. Alright, so this part is most definitely my favorite part of the sample, which is the guitar. Soft acoustic guitar by Spitfire. This is a really fire guitar. I don't use it as often as I should, but it's definitely a crazy bank that you guys should probably check out. But to give it this sound, the first thing I did was I slowed the BPM down to about 120-ish, something like that. I just played out everything separately. Then I added some accent notes on top. Then I added some chords just to be on top of the guitar. I thought this part was pretty hard too. All I did was I just repeated the same melody, but I added extra notes into it so you could hear that there's some variation in the sample. So what makes it sound so fire is I use the vary speed effect. So that's slowing something down and then rendering it again and then speeding it back up, changing the pitch, whatever you want to do to it. So all I did was I took this and then I put it back at 145 after I rendered it, and this is what it sounded like after that. So the only effects I normally put on the guitar is this CLA guitar stereo, and I just added EQ just like this just to take out some of the lows so nothing's clashing. Then I went on the master, I put a sound shifter, pitched it down 4 semitones and negative 27 cents just to give it a slight detune. And this is what the final sample sounds like. So that's the final sample. You know, I hope y'all were able to learn something. If you mess with the sample, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, all that. Follow me on IG if you want, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.